I grew up fascinated with food. With time, I learnt the importance of a healthy and holistic lifestyle. I still had a lot of questions about diet though, like which one was the best one? Keto, Atkins, paleo? Was there an optimal diet for your blood type? Could you really get a wheat belly? Amongst all my confusion, it was clear to me this was not my best life until I stumbled across a plant-based whole foods lifestyle. Suddenly, it all made sense. From preventing cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, feeling the most well and energetic I had ever felt in my entire life, helping the environment, and respecting other sentient beings on our beautiful planet. I decided to dig deeper with a little help from the experts and influencers. Can being plant-based really make you a game changer? Is this the most sustainable way of living? This is Plant Perspective. Well, hello there, YouTube fam, and a very warm welcome to you on this episode of Plant Perspective. If you're not part of my YouTube family yet, you're very welcome to be. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And while you're at it, why not hit the bell sign too, so you can get regular notifications every time a new episode of Plant Perspective is out. And if you end up liking the video or finding it helpful, please do go ahead and give it a like. It helps the channel out. Thank you so much. Well, I am so excited to have back on the channel, but this time to talk all things plant-based and share her very own unique plant perspective with us, Gianna Simone. So beautiful and super talented, she's also quite the go-getter. So many things to add to her resume. A Hollywood actress, model, and singer. But wait, there's more. A silk aerial artist. Did you know she's made it on Vogue's Best Dressed list? And she did it all rocking a cruelty-free and vegan-friendly wardrobe, hair and makeup. She's also quite the entrepreneur with a successful Amazon Prime show, YouTube channel, and production company. She's all about giving back and has started her own foundation which helps youngsters with difficult backgrounds get the right mentoring and tools necessary to reach their full potential. What's more is she has recently released a cookbook called Plant Love with her dear friend and fellow actress Andrea Logan. Can't wait to hear all about it. Here she comes. Gianna, welcome. So good to have you on again.
So good to see you, beautiful.
Oh, likewise, likewise. And you know what? This moment is like so full circle for me right now because when I was transitioning or considering transitioning over to a plant-based lifestyle, your channel was such a big help to me, and all these wonderful doctors that you introduced me to, like Dr. Greger, and like there's just such a long list, Dr. Neil Bernard, all of that good fam. It was because of you, so thank you so much, and no better person to be on the show.
Oh, Beverly, thank you. That means a lot, and it means a lot to hear that the show is doing what we intended it for it to do, and it's to educate people and help them make great decisions for their life and for their body. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for your channel.
Oh, thanks so much. What I want to start off with is how you came to the decision to be plant-based. And I know your wonderful glamorous job has a lot to do with it too. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to adopt a plant-based diet and then a lifestyle.
Yeah, so I thank you for that question. And I'm a model and an actress, and I also produce as well. And I was doing a lot of modeling when I first moved to Los Angeles and getting established. And I started to break out a lot. And it wasn't like I've seen really bad like cystic acne. It wasn't that bad, but it was bad enough to where it was like, okay, I need to address this. And so I started to go to a dermatologist. And I mean, this is like what they do, right? They deal with skin and they deal with skin ailments. So he put me on antibiotics, and he put me on oral steroids. And then he would sometimes inject my face with probably a steroid or something, and inject the inflammation. And it was very invasive, and not once did he say, "What are you eating? What could you be eating that could be affecting your skin?" Not once. And so I was on antibiotics for a year. My hair started to fall out, and I hadn't seen any improvement. And I was like, well, my poor gut flora, and it's not helping anything. It's not helping what's going on. So I need to take matters into my own hands. And I would stay up crying, and I would worry. And God doesn't want us to worry. And so there was clearly an issue that there was only a Band-Aid on it, and the Band-Aid kept falling off. Like, the Band-Aid wasn't even helping. So I found documentaries. I found Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. I found What the Health and Food Matters, Food Inc., Forks Over Knives, and Freely the Banana Girl on YouTube. And I also had struggled with eating disorders. And so I always restricted food, either restricted it or binged and purged. And because I didn't know there was another option to stay thin, or I would like over exercise, or all three. And so, back and forth. And I needed to be set free. And I know God wanted to set me free. So I think this was like the straw that broke the camel's back to really do that. And I saw Freely, and she was eating all this food. And I'm like, well, is she just skinny? Can she just handle all that food? And she wasn't. She had lost a whole bunch of weight eating this way. And I'm like, okay, well, there's something to this. And there was so much information available when I went down that hole of truth, that rabbit hole of truth. So I was so hungry. I was so hungry, literally and figuratively, for truth and the right way to get what I was after, which was to be healed. And then I tried it, and I juiced, and my skin cleared up. I mean, it was a journey, and sometimes I'll still break out, and it's a constant, like, everything. I really use food as medicine. It's a constant. I have to stay in line. My body reminds me that this is, and I think God uses it. I think God uses it to fulfill his will for our lives. And when we kind of steer off the path of like doing things that are healthy for us and good for ourselves, we suffer. And so that's the same thing with my skin. Like, I'll see it if I eat something, like if I eat too much chocolate, or if I'm not eating a ton of greens, I'll see it and I'll feel it too. So I really use food now as medicine, and I have never felt or looked better in my life, honestly. And I don't need to. I've been set free. God used it to set me free. So that's kind of my journey in a nutshell.
Awesome. Like, what a great journey. And just listening to you there, Gianna, it reminds me a lot of myself as well, when, I was transitioning over, and I just wanted to know what the right thing to do is and what's best for my body. And it's been quite the journey, because I've done it all, like keto, paleo, like, cabbage soup, like all of this like stuff that is just like, it's not the right thing for us. Like the military diet as well. In the long term, it's not sustainable. But what I love about going plant-based is it's so sustainable, and it's the best. Like, you just stay on it your whole life. And I initially did it for like a 10-day detox. And after day 5, I was like, I feel so good. Like, why would I want to go back? And that's wonderful to hear that that's what it did, not only for your skin, just transformed it and helped you be your best self, but also helped get over an eating disorder. And that's what I love about like being plant-based, because there's so much love involved, like genuine love for yourself, self-love, love for the planet, love for others. It just makes you a very compassionate person, even if you just start it because you think, oh yeah, it'll be good for my health, but you can't help start thinking about other things too, like the planet and sustainability and other people, it just really makes you a compassionate person, which is awesome. Speaking of which, I know it's something that you've incorporated into not just your diet, but it's your lifestyle. And well done for making it to Vogue's best dressed list as well. So obviously you've taken it really, really seriously, and it's in everything. It's in your wardrobe, it's in your hair and makeup. Tell us a little bit more about how you're doing that.
Yeah, so I, along with one of the documentaries, and when you were saying, just to back up a little bit, the lifestyle is about abundance. It's truly about abundance and not lack. And I was in lack for a long time. I thought lack would get me what I want, but it was keeping me from what I wanted. And it was keeping me from being set free. And abundance is where it's at. And abundance is what happens. So anyway, I wanted to just, say that and inspire people with that concept. So with fashion, it's, yes, so being an actress, I am on a lot of red carpets and set all the time, and I have to wear makeup for my job. And so I looked into, what is the best skincare line out there and makeup line out there. And I came across this fruit-based makeup called 100% Pure. And I was like, well, if I'm putting fruit in my body, and fruit is some of the most nutritious food on the planet, then why wouldn't I put it on my skin too? And I love, I'm so thankful to this company that they created this brand, because I use it religiously, and I bring it on set, or I'll use it for photo shoots. I use it for Love Gianna, and I love their stuff. And a lot of their products there's not one ingredient where you're like, what is this ingredient? Let me Google it. All of their ingredients are very easy to understand and read, so you know what you're getting. And I use various shampoos and conditioners. We were just talking about this before the break, and I love Yoroque. I don't like to use alcohol on my skin or hair, and a lot of even natural brands use some alcohol in their products. So I always look, I'm like, is there any alcohol in here? Because I do not want to dry my skin out or my hair out. And so Carina Organics is another one that I've been using and love. Dr. Alkalitis, I think I'm saying that right. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Alkaitis, maybe that's how you pronounce it. I also love their face masks. Their face masks are really pure. And so, yeah, that's some of the stuff that I use for beauty products. And then fashion, I knew that, so I saw Earthlings along with the other documentaries. I watched Earthlings, and I realized, and I learned what happens to animals with leather, with fur. I mean, it comes from an animal, but you don't think that it's as horrific as a process as it really is, because they keep us from that, because we wouldn't buy it. Nobody would buy it if they actually really knew what happened to these innocent babies. And so, and with the meat industry too, they put it in a nice clear package and present it to you in the grocery store. And it's not a nice process. It's a horrific process that should not be happening. And and in the end, it ends up contributing to the #1 killer of men and women, which is heart disease. So it's hurting the beings, it's hurting this earth, and it's hurting us. It's like back to an abundance, let's set everybody free mindset and way of living. We can heal ourselves, this earth, and save and protect the animals that we are to be good stewards of. And so I knew that I did not want to support the leather industry anymore, or the fur industry. Now, with that said, I had a lot of leather shoes. I had a rug that was not vegan. And I'm like, do I just throw it away? I had leather jackets. And I'm like, man, I had such a traumatic, a trauma response from watching Earthlings. I was like screaming, crying, shaking. I could not believe. And what happens to animals. And at the point that I was watching the documentary, these animals had long suffered, and there was nothing I could do to help them. And it was this feeling of, this needs to stop now. It was alarming, and it was such an important message. And so I took that on as this is now something that I'm going to fight for and speak about and educate people on for all of my days here on earth until we see, or until Jesus comes back, until we see change or Jesus comes back, because it needs to stop, and we need to be set free. And so do the animals. So, but with that said, you know, on set, like I share this too in some interviews, on set of Unbroken, there was a period piece. So there were no like vegan shoes. Like I couldn't bring Stella McCartney's on there and say, hey, let's use shoes that were made in 2019 for a period piece. And so they were, you know, reused shoes because they were obviously from back in the day, and things like that. You know, we live in an imperfect world, and so reusing things and not just throwing them away for no reason other than like, okay, we don't support that, but they're already made, they're already in existence, and throwing them away isn't going to do anything either. So things I would rather not wear it, but on set, you know, you really have to pick and choose your battles and do what you can and educate people for the future. Like maybe there will be a company, maybe one day I'll create it. I don't know. Or I'll team up with somebody, like maybe we can make period pieces that are vegan and we don't have to like reuse and use animal products. So, but until then, you know, there's a balance of everything. We can't reach perfection because nothing is perfect on this earth. So, but we can try, you know, we can try to do our best. And that is what I do. And there's no shame. I don't ever want to, you know, condemn anybody or guilt anybody into their journey. Because if you're not eating meat, but you're still wearing animal products, okay, well, you're on a journey and you're making really great steps, and that should be commended. And if you even do a meatless Monday, or you do meat-free or vegan one time a whole week throughout a month or something like that, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I don't know. Or if you still want to eat that way, but then don't wear leather products, you're still helping. You know, it all makes a difference. Everything we do and choose to do matters. We are extremely powerful and extremely influential, and everything we do matters.
So well said, Gianna. So well said, and so true. And I'm so proud of you for really incorporating it in every area of your life. And you're right, what we do really matters. So I'm so proud of you for starting your foundation and for educating others, not just through your YouTube channel, which is fantastic. And you've got some amazing guests this season as well coming out. So we'll talk about that. But also I want to talk about your foundation, because you're doing awesome work there to help mentor young people, and like there's just so much you're doing in terms of connecting those who may have been neglected, whether it's animals and young people, and bringing them together. So that's just so fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your foundation, and tell us more about what we can expect from your YouTube channel in the new season.
Yes, thank you. So I started my foundation just because there were areas I've always, let me back up a little bit. I've always tithed, and I know that my career is a gift, and it's a gift from God, and I want to honor that, and I want to honor Him through it, and I want to give back to Him, saying thank you. I'm humbled. I'm so blown away that I get to do what I love and what you put me on earth to do, and it's a gift. And so, and plus, it's all God's, you know. So I give a portion of my income back to charities that I feel called to help with, and I've been doing that since my career started, and I've always made an effort to do it, like be like on the penny, really. Like I've been very strict with it, and I want to be a great steward of finances and the gifts that He gives us and trusts us with. And He only asks for a small percentage back. He only asks for 10%. And if He always loves a cheerful giver. So if you want to give more, then give more. If it makes you feel great to give more, great. And sometimes I do that too. And I was like, well, where do I want to see change? And I had a friend who was sending girls to school in Rwanda, and she was putting them through university. And I started tithing to her foundation. And then she eventually made me a partner. And we eventually met the girls that we were putting through school. And it was only $800 a year to send these women to school, drastically different from the cost of university in the United States. But the average income in Rwanda is $2 a day, or it was. Maybe it's changed recently. So we were able to send a good amount of girls to school and educate them. And then after meeting them and seeing Rwanda and having spent some time there, I wanted to see that change and more. So then we started to work with Kigali University, which is the biggest university in Rwanda, and send men and women to school and educate them. So we did that. And then I also have a heart for foster youth because I was in the foster care system growing up. And I really want to see some change with the system because it was not an enjoyable experience to go through the foster care system. It was very scary, very messy. And I want it to be used as a tool to actually help people. And I know that that's the intention of it too. But sometimes we can have the best intentions and still need help. And so I work with a facility in Los Angeles and mentor some of the girls there. And I think they used to call their facility a level 12 facility, which is the step right before prison. But I don't think they call their facility that anymore. So anyway, so I work with them. And then I also have a heart for animals, clearly, because we just talked about that. And I was like, well, how can I unite the two? How can I bring abused and neglected humans and unite them with abused and neglected animals and promote healing in both parties? So I thought about field trips. Why don't I take a handful of girls from this facility and bring them to various farm sanctuaries and just have fun and just promote healing. And there are girls sometimes where they'll go up to a cow and they'll be like, no, I'm so scared. I don't know. Is he going to hurt me? And then we'll give them time and then they'll bond. And then it will be like meeting like a service animal almost. And they have this, and then the animals are also abused and neglected and they've been rescued. And so for the animals to then trust humans it's a beautiful process. It's so cool to see both parties just loving on each other and having that perfect peace, even in that moment. It's so cool. So that's essentially what we do. And then there's organizations that we support financially that are in the trenches supporting or getting women out of the sex industry, which is another area that I have a big heart for, and it should not exist. And God willing that it gets eradicated.
100%. It's an area that I feel very strongly about as well. And it's just so sad and it's so tragic to think how advanced the world has become in so many ways, but yet this horrible, nasty crime that just destroys souls and hearts and spirits and is harmful to one's body in so many ways, that's still going on, and it's going on on such huge levels. So thank you so much for taking that on, because more of us need to take that on, because it's only like one person at a time. If we keep helping one person at a time, we'll get there eventually. So that's so good that your foundation is doing that too. That's fantastic. So what can we expect on your YouTube channel for this season?
Oh, yes, that was the second part of the question. So this season, in season 2, well, with season 1, we have the doctors, and my intention was to educate people. I always say, educate yourself no matter how you feel, just get the information and then do with that information what you wish. But at least educate yourself, at least know what you're doing, what you're contributing to for yourself, for this world, for the animals, and then make your decisions. And that's up to you, and that's your business. And so with season 2, I really wanted to inspire people. And what better way to do it with vegan athletes? Because a lot of men and women think, okay, well, I'm just going to get skinny and I'm going to lose all my muscle. And you're not. And there are people proving, that we have on the show, that you can be a bodybuilder, you can set Olympic, you can win Olympic medals. You can set the Scott Jurek won the FKT, or he secured the FKT going north on the Appalachian Trail. And you can set records. You can go toe to toe with the greatest, being a boxer. We have Bryant Jennings on, and Rich Roll. I mean, we have literally incredible athletes. And I myself am an athlete too. I do aerial acrobatics, and I totally believe that I am able to do that. I've been doing it for 9 years, and I'm able to do this and keep my body in working order with a lot of good physical therapy. But also, it doesn't matter how much physical therapy you get if you're not putting the right fuel in the tank, and to help with inflammation and recovery time, and to be able to do it consistently and to love it. You know, like, we love what we do, and we need all the right tools to keep doing what we love to do and using our bodies in the best way possible. And how do we do that? We put the right fuel in the tank, and the best fuel. And just like you said, I think before we started filming, why settle for good when you can have great? You know, a lot of people say that they feel better when they adopt a paleo diet or various diets, but a lot of those people may be coming from a standard American diet, a junk food diet, a lot of processed food in their diet. And then even a paleo diet gets processed food out. So yeah, you can feel good, and that may feel great to a certain person at the time, but why stop there when you can feel even better? And just try it and see for yourself that it is the way that humans are supposed to be eating, and you can feel top notch. So that's the intention with season 2, is to show people that you can be the best of the best athlete in your genre, just for you, for your life personally. We want to inspire you.
That's awesome. Cool. Can't wait till that's out. I already started watching the episode with Rich Roll, and that's out on YouTube at the moment. But it looks like there are going to be a lot of game changers on the show, so I'm really looking forward to it. And speaking of putting the right fuel in your tank, Plant Love, it was in the pipeline when you were on before, and I'm so excited that it's out now. Your very own cookbook that you have partnered with your friend Andrea Logan to produce. Where can we buy that?
Yeah. Yes, thank you we're so excited about it. And I also want to preface the last question, just follow up on the last question, that it's streaming on Amazon Prime, it's streaming on YouTube, and it's also on podcast. So if people want to listen to it, they can. So it's just, we wanted to make it readily available for everybody. And Plant Love is an e-cookbook. We're thinking about printing it. We've talked to a couple different publishers, and we decided on the ebook route because a lot of people are staying home and they're probably just going to want to download it. But we kind of want it in our hands. So we're thinking about printing it too. But for right now, it's an ebook, and it's on my website. You can go to giannasimone.com and then click the shop link, which is, it's scrolled down to the bottom, and there's a little tab that says shop. And then it's right there in the shop section. And you'll get an email with a downloadable link. And it's all whole food, plant-based recipes that are super simple. There's, like, on average, 5 ingredients. They're so simple, and they're great dishes like gnocchi and pizza and brownies and cupcakes and cookies. And they're just so simple, super healthy, refined sugar and oil free. I'd say 98% of them are gluten-free, and the last 2% you can make gluten-free. We have gluten-free options for those. So it's an abundance cookbook, and it's an abundance mindset cookbook too. We have inspirational quotes and beautiful imagery in there as well. And I actually did the photography, and I retouched the pictures as well. So a lot of stuff that I've learned and love to do in my life has been incorporated into this book, and Andrea as well. And making this cookbook, Andrea and I have become literally sisters and best friends, and it's been such a healing journey for us. And that just goes to show you that when you stay in alignment with healing foods, a healing mindset, a healing lifestyle, you really heal yourself in so many areas. Like it brought a beautiful sisterhood. It brought just so much healing. Like I could talk about it forever. It's just when you start on the journey of healing, it will come in all different areas. And that's what we want for people. We want to help people heal.
Yeah. Wow. I'll definitely put a link to where you can purchase the book in the video description below, guys. Definitely one you want to get. Definitely. Like I think for what it's worth, it's just such great value for money. So definitely you want to go get your hands on it because it's awesome. And just lastly, in a minute, what would you say to someone who's interested in starting the plant-based journey? It's intriguing them, but there's just a lot of pressure because it's still relatively new to a lot of people, and it's still relatively out there, even though we know health-wise it's the best. Environmental reasons are far better for doing it, but for so many people it's a new thing. So in a minute, what would be the best advice you would give to someone who's considering starting a plant-based lifestyle or diet?
First and foremost, I'm really proud of you, and it's going to be one of the best decisions you ever make in your life. And everybody who's on a plant-based diet will tell you that. And doing it with a whole foods, not just like, because if you start to eat processed food and then it's not helping you heal, well, because it's processed food. But educate yourself, and listen to the top doctors. That's why I started Love Gianna, is because I want people to hear from doctors themselves who are attacking and curing the #1 killer of human beings with food. And so that's what I want to say. I just educate yourself. Please educate yourself. There is ample information out there. Watch the show, look up these doctors, subscribe to their channels, subscribe to their social media, and just constantly learn. Keep learning, never stop learning.
That's great advice, really sound advice and words of wisdom. And I just want to definitely second what Gianna's saying, because that was my story. I became curious. I started researching, and there's such great information, and you end up going down this great rabbit hole. So follow it and educate yourself, because you won't be disappointed. Gianna, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for being such a beautiful light in the world. God bless you.
Thank you, Beverly, and right back at you. God bless you. Thank you for being a beautiful light as well.